Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PSGL Season 26, F6 Round 5 at Belgium. With 19 car grid, which is awesome to see, as we already can see people already on their out laps, and there is a Red Bull of Abordum, I believe it is. Do apologize if I got your name wrong. I believe he's a new driver this season, as a few people did get replaced, as for Race Point got a new driver lineup altogether. So let's see what they can do around the circuit, the new drivers who are here. Although we will go on board with the Red Bull as we now look at the drivers' standings for F6. Currently the leader in the championship is Khalifi. He has had 3 podiums and didn't get any points last week at Spain, which made Terrace actually gain some points on him. He's 7 points behind, and Felix has moved to 3rd place, who's 14 points behind. He finally got a win in the Mercedes and for the Mercedes team. Monster Blue unfortunately didn't have a good race. As we now go on the constructors, the top 3 in the constructors, AlphaTauri in the lead with 60 points, from Mercedes only 3 points off in 2nd place, with Alfa Romeo in 3rd, 10 points off AlphaTauri, with McLaren 4th, Ferrari is in 5th, Red Bull in 6th with 17 points, Williams and Renault with 8 points, 7th and 8th, Haas in 9th with 4 points, and Racing Point with AGU and Big Boy Jr., who did get replaced, have 0 points. So hopefully the new management of Racing Point, the new drivers, can score some points for their team. Abdor then is beginning his qualifying lap, as he's now going to take turn 1. Doesn't lock up or anything. See how he takes a rouge. Nice and tidy, rear end stable enough, and it looks like there's some clouds, so there could be possible rain. As I know in this game, when it does go cloudy, it can rain, as now he's approaching turn 5. Ride the curbs on here a little bit. Nice and tidy through turn 6 and 7 now. Backs up, lifts off a little bit. Oh, and invalidates, and that's unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. I believe the next driver was actually Terra Racer. He is on a lap, hasn't invalidated. Oh, bit of a lock up down the right front into the turn 8 of the hairpin. As he's now in turn 9, rides curb, rear end staying stable. As now he's coming up P1. Max is out 7th gear there, just keeps it within track limits. Great exit there, and the best exit you could get actually. As here he comes then into the chicane. Nice and tidy, finish off lap. His sector 2 time is a 1:13.5. See what his sector 3 is and what lap will it be, as he will be the first to set up lap, and he's actually gained on the Red Bull, so if the Red Bull doesn't affect him, because it could lead to penalties or anything like that. As he's now coming to the bus stop chicane. Oh, bit of a lock up down the right side of the car. However, now he's coming to the finish line to set a provisional lap time of a 1:41.6 and takes pole position. As we go on, Finley, who's next, the next Alfa Romeo, as he's now coming to the line, and he takes 2nd. I believe Adam is next. Actually, it was actually PB Racing does a 42.6. What about Adam? And he does a 42.6 as well. Unfortunately, the tyres actually went on. My bad. And both Race Points do it on medium tyres. So both very close to each other. Diego in the Ferrari moves to 3rd place with a 41.9 as we go on the other Red Bull of Thomas. As he comes to the line, he did the 42.2, and that would have put him 3rd. Oh, actually Felix now moves into 2nd place with a 41.8. So Felix is still challenging for a win as we go on the new driver of Jamil, as Rafa's retired. And Jamil takes 5th with a 42.4 there on the soft compounded tyres in the Williams. As we now go to Schnitzel then, who's finishing off his flying lap in sector 3, going down the long back straight, where there's a possible overtaking spot if you're very brave enough. As he's now approaching the bus stop chicane. Bit of a lock up on the right side there, nice and tidy, and I think the track is actually getting a bit brighter, so maybe they're in a threat of rain. And comes to the line and goes 7th with a 42.328. And he will be happy with that, and AlphaTauri will be happy hopefully to score some points this weekend, as they didn't do well last weekend. Right now then, we go on board with Atomic. I believe he's on a lap. No, he's actually backed off. What about Thomas? Nope, he's backed off as well. PB's made an invalid. Adam isn't on a lap. If he pits, I wonder, because the strategy here is soft medium or medium soft, so the alternate strategy could be a quicker strategy to go on. But Adam will stay on board then in the racing point as PB racing his teammate peels into the pits, and now he begins his next qualifying attempt. He's currently in 9th with a 42.6, with the highest medium run so far. Runs a bit deep into turn 1, goes to second gear, gets an alright exit as he's now approaching a Rouge. Flat out he's going. 196 miles an hour hitting a Rouge there. Nice and tidy. Good exit. Activates the DRS, takes the shortest line as possible. As he's now approaching turn 6, turn 5 and 6. Currently 1300ths up on his lap time at the moment. See how much time he can find. Pretty nice and stable there through turn 5, 6, 7. As he now goes to turn 8, doesn't lock up. Don't know if he's running ABS or anything. Clips the curb there, runs a bit wide on. Unfortunately, that's an invalidation. That is a shame for Adam. However, he could have been on a very good lap. Let's see what his sector 2 time, see if he actually was up, unless he's going to back off. I don't believe anybody else is on an actual flyer. Actually, the McLaren of Sneaky is right now, so we'll go on board with Sneaky next. As here comes Adam then, around the corner. What time will he do? He was actually 3/10 up there on medium, so it would have been an improvement and could have moved up a position or two. Although we'll go on board with Sneaky in the McLaren. Approaching turn number 5 and finishing sector 1, 29.8. Currently purple in sector 1 then. So the McLarens are looking strong yet again this season in qualifying. As now he approaches turn 8. No lock up there, so less people are locking up on that corner. It's a very tricky corner to actually not lock up on. Although Sneaky keeping it within track limits. As he goes through Pouron now. Ooh, had to back off, it looked like a little bit there when he went down to 7th gear. But nice and tidy. Approaching the sector 3 detection. Yellow's in sector 1. I think that's Merc just getting out of the way there. I think that was Monster Blue's actually done a personal best lap. What, 41.5? I didn't realise that. However, Sneaky's still purple in sector 2. Terrace in second with 41.6. Ron Zeus third with a 41.761. I believe he's full time in that Haas now. However, here is Sneaky approaching the bus stop chicane. No lock up or anything. Doesn't run deep. Rides the curb. Short shift to second. Decent exit. Rear end's not kicking out. And he does a 1:41.638. Goes third fastest in the McLaren. He will definitely be happy with that. And let's go on board with the Renault of Verheyen, who is actually invalidated, so I think he'll pit. Yes. And good evening, Hypes. Good to see you in the chat. As we're going to Red Bull then of Borden, I believe it is, on a finishing lap. No, he's actually backed off. Okay, then let's go on board with our driver's champion points leader. The champion points leader right now, who's currently in sector 3 with a 13.7, purple in sector 2. So could Khalifi be another chance for a podium? He didn't get score any points last week. His podium streak got ended, but let's see what he can do this week for the AlphaTauri team to help him out in the constructors fighters, because they did have a big gap from the drivers in second place and the constructors, which were Mercedes, but now the gap's just 3 points. He's now coming into the chicane. What time will it be? Will it be a 40? Will it be a 41? And it's a 41.9. It promotes him into 6th place, just a 10th of Felix Negwa there, who is in 5th. And actually, I believe we'll go on board with Felix himself right now as the league admin of this tier. As a bit of a lock up there in turn 1, not the best start on of his lap. Let's see how he can take the rest of the track, as he's now going down to turn 3 and 4, Upper Rouge. Nice and tidy there, flat out, no mistake, no correction in steering wheel or anything like that. So Felix is doing a very good job up there, as he's now approaching the first sector time split, and it is a 29.9, not purple, but 3,000 up on his time. His time, remember, is a 41.8, so he needs to find a bit more time to do better than his teammate, who's done a 41.5, currently in pole position. Oh, bit of a lock up there on the right front into turn 8. Joseph to 4th. Runs a try, goes down to 4th there just to keep within track limits, very close to invalidating. So Felix is really pushing the boundaries as he's now approaching Pouon. Max is out 7th gear, doesn't go to 8th, but look, that completely messes him up. And he's completely... okay, that should be invalid. Yeah, he might actually finish the lap, but that should have been invalid there, so... I think Felix... bit of a disappointment there, and he will be annoyed. As we get a nice shot there, he clips the grass a little bit. Somehow hasn't invalidated that run, so he actually might finish the lap and actually might get a good position from it. I didn't see his Sector 2 time, I didn't know if he was up or anything. As we'll go on board with Ron Zeus next, I believe he's the next car actually to cross the line, and he is. And Felix then comes to the line and does a 41.7, so does move up ahead of Ron Zeus then by one position, by a couple of hundredths. However, Ron Zeus is on a lap. Also Monster Blue just behind. Keep an eye on the Mercedes driver of Monster Blue. As Ron Zeus then coming to the line. What time will it be in the Haas? And it's a 41.3, takes provisional pole. But could Monster Blue destroy that lap time? And he does a 41.1, retakes pole position. And could we see the times break into the 40s? High 40s, maybe a 41 flat. Monster Blue then will be definitely happy with that, taking pole position. Ron Zeus will be over the moon with second. Right now, as we go on board with Jamil then, I believe, oh no, sorry, Adam, in at the Racing Point, currently on the soft compound of tyre. I believe his best lap was on actually the mediums, which was a 42.6, and the only medium runner out, well, only medium run to set time at the moment now on track, because PB Racing is just behind him, finishing his lap, so I think they may have helped each other. I don't think they were meant to, because slipstream isn't allowed. Hopefully they didn't slipstream each other. But Adam goes 8th with a 41.891, and he will be happy with that, as he's just behind his teammate, but both race points there split Felix. As we'll go on board with the Red Bull driver Abaddon, and then currently in sector 1, 29.9. As he's really fighting the car. Oh, and was off the track there. I think he got a bit of luck this time not to invalidate, as we've got 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. People will wait in the pits and do their final run soon, as Abaddon there has backed off his lap. As we go on board with... Actually, nobody's out on track, and there's a lot of people who have pitted. Well, that gives me time to have a look at the steward findings for this weekend, as see if anyone's got any penalties. Raf. The reason why Raf hasn't qualified, because he has a qualifying ban for this weekend, and that is the only incident or penalties for this weekend. So that's why the Renault driver in 18th, or will be 19th when Thomas does set a flying lap, has backed off. Now, will the Red Bull driver go for a second run on those softs? Is the question. He has plenty of time to come in the pits. Well, it's up to the Red Bull driver, but if he does pit, no, I don't think he is. I think he is going on a second run then, as he instantly puts the overtake ERS mode back to 2, and he begins his second attempt. Oh, the rear end there, bit loose. You could hear the wheel spin of the engine when he was revving up. Goes in the 7th gear into turn 1. Bit of a lift off there. I've got to say the Red Bull engine does sound awesome. As he's now approaching Arouge, going up the big hill, activating DRS, doesn't make a mistake. So I think he's just struggling for grip or confidence in the Red Bull, because the setup does look stable. As he's now in sector 1, does a 29.7, 1.5 tenths up on his time. So he could actually be up there if he keeps improving on his lap time, keeps it within track limits this time as well. As Snitch and Khalifa both on outlaps now, and the next driver who's after the Red Bull is James in the Haas, currently in 11th, doing a 42 flat on soft tyres. The only people who haven't set lap times yet is behind Timpson and Thomas. Raf, as I explained earlier, has a qualifying ban. Nice and tight there, few Pouon for the Red Bull driver, currently in 15th. As he's now approaching turn 12 and 13. Nice and tight. He goes up to 5th gear, rides the curb, doesn't invalidate, touches the exit curb there. Approaches now sector 3. What time will he do? Will he be up even more? 4.6 seconds up on his lap time, and obviously he did a 49.6. So I'm expecting him to improve a lot as the Williams there moves out of the way for the Red Bull driver. And I believe that was Tipson. As here comes Bonin then, as he's coming to the bus stop chicane. There is an Alfa Romeo ahead of him. Well, I believe that Alfa Romeo is about to begin his flying lap. May get a little bit slipstream actually, the Red Bull driver, as he gets a decent exit. Oh, a little bit of the rear end kicked out a little bit though. And it's a 42-1. Promotes himself into 12th place, so he will be happy with that. As we now go on board with James, who's currently apparently 500 up on his lap time at the moment. And I don't think that will promote him up a position against Diego, who I believe in last week got a podium in the Ferrari. And finally scored Ferrari some big points, as they didn't start scoring points for the first 2 rounds. Although James is really picking up the pace in the Haas and wants to score some decent points this season. As now he's approaching the bus stop chicane. Nice and tidy. Coming to the line, and he does a 41.8. Promotes himself to P8. He will be happy with that, and that's his qualifying over. And is he safe? And will he be starting on the softs, or will he get a free choice of tyre if anybody else beats that lap? But the next up is actually Ron Zeus, and quickly get to him. Or Ron Zeus actually begin the lap. So we'll go on people who are about to finish, and I believe PB Racing is actually going to finish his lap. Then let's go on board with him. No, that's actually Adam coming to the line. Does a 41.892 apparently. So I'm guessing he actually invalidated his run. Alright then, so we will go on board with Ron Zeus, who is the car ahead in the Haas, and has done a 29.8, 5 thousandths down in sector 1. That isn't good, but he can still find some time, as the track will be the quickest right now. Nice and tidy exit. Gotta say, I do miss the Haas when it was black and gold. As PB Racing has called it a day then, has retired in the pits. Luckily he didn't retire on track, which is awesome, so it doesn't affect anybody else. Ooh, lifts off there, going absolutely flat, and then backs off a little bit just to make the cars. Jamil has DNF'd in quali. He's retired on track. Now, that could be investigated if he affects somebody, because you're not allowed to retire on track. How about Ron Zeus? Currently second. Where will Ron Zeus be at the end of this lap? Currently 300s up on, well, 300s up on the lap time right now, as there is a car ahead. There's still the Haas. James, remember, you can't give him slipstream, so James may have to move out of the way. Ron Zeus then as Thomas and Khalifi. Thomas actually moves to 3rd place with 41.5. Khalifi in 4th with 41.528. Both finishing their laps. However, here comes the Haas coming to the line, as we'll go on Tipson next. And Ron Zeus takes second with a 41.292, just improves a little bit. Go on board with Tipson right now, coming to the line, and does set a lap time, 42 flat there. As we'll go on board with Adam, who is next, has invalidated 3/10 up. So let's see what his provisional lap time would have been. As we'll go on board with Diego, and it's 41.5. Oh, that's a shame there. As we'll go on board with Diego, moves to 5th place there. Good lap from him, doing a 41.549 as Felix goes 3rd place with a 41.3. What about his teammate? His teammate smashes his lap time, does a 41 flat. So I think Monster Blue is definitely safe for pole, as Finley has backed off his run. What about Verheinen? Verheinen is the final driver to cross the line, and the only person who hasn't actually set a lap time. Currently sitting in 18th. As both runners are actually sitting 18th and 19th right now. So what will Verheinen do? Verheinen does a 42 flat there, so I think that may have promoted him to 10th place. No, it doesn't. It actually sticks him 15th. It did say 18th there, but he actually is 15th. As people were cheering on Aboiden and Go Diego. Apologies if I say that Red Bull driver's name wrong. Although the official results, Monster Blue then with a 41 flat there takes pole position, almost 2/10 ahead of Terrace in 2nd, Ron Zeus 3rd, Felix 4th, Thomas in 5th, Khalifi in 6th. Not a bad qualifying result after how Spain went. Diego in 7th, showing that the Ferrari has pace. Sneaky in 8th, Finley 9th, PB Racing in 10th. James takes 11th in the end, gets a free choice of tyre. Adam in 12th, Atomic 13th, Tipson 14th, Verheinen 15th, Abdo in 16th, and I will go down the rest of the grid of the race. And good evening, TARDIS. It's been a while. If you do remember, it is Jared, of course. It's been a while to see you here. Well then, we will go down the rest of the grid. As we go down the 30-second countdown, and it looks like we are safe from any wet weather then. Looks like clear skies all around, but it is Spa. Anything could happen. Could be a massive crash. There could be a safety car. There could be 6 safety cars. Anything can happen around here. As we wait for people to pick their setups, and I will go over my race prediction after I finish the rest of the grid, and we will get on with this race. As we now see everybody has picked the setup. Okay then, as we'll get everything on. This formation lap has gone brilliant, so no safety car or no glitch issues or anything like that. We haven't got the race prediction yet, but it may come up later in the race. Then, so we were at 15th for Heinen, 16th is Aberiden at 2:4:12 in the Red Bull. Schnitzel 17th then, so Schnitzel in the after he's had a bad qualifying today, and that isn't going to help him for the constructors with his teammate currently sitting in 6th. So he's going to have to make his way through the field on the medium compound of tyre. Jamil debut race today in 18th. It's unlucky that he didn't get a good qualifying, as Raf served a qualifying ban and is in 19th place. As only 1, 2, 3, 4 people have gone on mediums, everybody else has gone on softs. So 4 people then, James, Abdon, Schnitzel and Jamil, could be guys to watch in today's race as long as they don't get damage. However, my race prediction. I'm going to say Monster Blue is going to take the win, as I thought he was going to take the win at Spain, but he made a mistake and cost him. As there's the predicted pit stop strategy, soft and medium. So, it is definitely a one-stop. With Terrace, I think is going to hold 2nd place, but I think Felix will get 3rd, with Ron Zeus in 4th. I think that's going to be the prediction of the race today. But I think the person who's going to steal the fastest lap is the Ferrari of Diego. I feel like he could get the fastest lap point and score some more points for Ferrari consistently. As everybody else then is coming to the big long straights. Well, technically a straight, but it's got some corners in it. And the racing point there, PB's backing off. Hopefully he's not backing up too much, because he needs to be within 10 car lengths. Because that could be that isn't 10 car lengths. He could be questioned actually about that. That is technically illegal. He has to be within 10 car lengths because it's... yeah, that is the rules. And he's apparently doing soft to hard apparently on his strategy. Alright then. So PB then is in 10th. As Monster Blue then is coming up to line up on the grid. Could he make Mercedes get another win, but this time with a different driver? Can Mercedes finally show what they are meant to do this season? As Lewis Marshall unfortunately retired and called it a quit. So Felix had to pick up the work and did pick up last week and got a win. As now we wait for the light sequence to start. As we have 19 drivers, which is awesome. Nobody lagged out or anything like that. As the light sequence has begun for the PSGL. Round 5 at Spa, and they're off, and it's underway the race, and it looks like Monster Blue's had an alright start. But look at Felix in the background, already trying to see a way through, going down the outside into turn 1. We'll scroll down to just make sure there isn't any contact or anything like that. As we go further down, and it looks like everyone's gone off safely. Jamil drops to 19th. Schnitzel in 18th, however, we'll go on board with Schnitzel. As you can see, everyone's going side by side now. Through Rouge, the Reynolds are going and looking for Heinen, trying to go past James on the inside and makes the move. Raf is leaving a little bit of space there for Schnitzel. Schnitzel's going alongside, as we can see, 3 wide down the straight, and there's moves all over the place. As James, oh no, there's going to be chaos in a minute because I feel like someone's going to spin around. Oh, very close there. Atomic gets squeezed a little bit, and Raf there shoves Schnitzel, and Schnitzel gets a harsh already 3-second penalty, but something's going to go wrong here in a minute. As there's cars weaving all over the place trying to find the solution, and Verheinen is at a brilliant start, already in 14th, did start 15th though, but is literally fighting. Same with Abaddon though, in 12th, makes a mistake, and here comes Verheinen now, making the move on the soft tyres through Puron. He's going on the inside and he makes the move work, touches the curb a little bit but keeps the car on track. good position indeed. However, we're going to have to keep an eye on the fight for 10th place between PB Race. Oh, there's contact there. Finley's round, and there's a crash. Oh, one of the Red Bulls takes avoided action. Finley gets wing damage. Will has to peel into the pits there, and I think that was Abaddon there who did an evasive thing to get out of the way, and I think he has to give the position back, and he does. Schnitzel then moves to 17th, and I'm surprised no VSC from that. And PB there was the cause of that incident, and maybe investigated later in the stewards, as he's currently in 10th place. However, back to the battle for the lead. Teresa is currently in second, apparently 6/10. He's only 2/10. But right now, let's see if it's going to do the glitch, and what a surprise, it does. The glitch. Monster Blue sets the current fastest lap time of a 48.1. Finley, gap to leader for him, is already 18.3 seconds and pitted, so hopefully he doesn't DNF or anything like that. Goes, straps on a set of mediums or another set of softs, pray for a safety car, and see what he can salvage in this race. As Terrace then is in second place, he isn't in first. It will fix itself in a minute. And it is fixing itself now. It's just because everyone hasn't passed the first sector or something. But Monster then still in the lead, as I believe it is fixed now then, as Zeus is getting close to Terrorist there, but not close enough. And I'm going to say, everyone's staying bunched up, which I'm quite surprised. I'd expect this at Austria, and Ranzus there, getting a bit unnervy there on the rear end of that Haas, but he's staying on. There's yellows behind. That's a Renault. Is that Raf? It is. Raf there. Wing damage, left end plate, and will have to pit. Had a qualifying ban and now lost more of the wing, and that is a shame there, as Raf then will peel into the pits and get a wing change. Have a look back for a battle. Well, I don't think there's going to be a battle for the lead anytime soon, so I think I'm going to go on board with a battle for the race in points. Right now, currently sitting in 8th and 9th, as actually someone's dropped further behind. Oh, that was Finley, and there's more yellow flags. I'm guessing that's Raf. As DRS will be activated this lap, Terrace sets a 46 flat, currently the fastest lap of the race, and actually we'll go on board him because DRS is now enabled. We'll keep an eye behind as well, don't worry, we will keep an eye on that. But will Terrace be close enough? As James peels into the pits, so James had wing damage or something, so that's his medium strat out of the window. But what about Ron Zeus? Ron Zeus is not that far off Terracer, has DRS, isn't gaining. As we'll go further behind, Felix in 4th place right now, losing a bit of time from the Haas, but sitting comfortably in 4th, and this is going to be good points for him in the drivers and the constructors today. Thomas in 5th, Diego sitting in 6th in the Ferrari, but still there, as both race points are getting really close to Khalifi in 7th, who's actually lost a position. And with the first 3 laps, we'll go down the positions people have lost. So the top 5 haven't lost one single position. Diego has moved up 1, Khalifi lost 1. Adam has moved up 4, and PB Racing has moved up 1. The biggest losers in the position gain, in the position losses actually, is James and Finley. James has lost 6 positions, Finley has lost 9. As Atomic actually picked up a penalty, which I just missed. However, though, Zeus is keeping up with... Oh, hang on. There's yellows. Is that the other Renault? It is. That's Verheinen. Verheinen has literally binned it into the wall, lost complete control of that front wing, and don't spin it fully around. And the Renaults have literally, they're going to be bankrupt amount of the front wings they're losing. And Verheinen will have to peel into the pits, and it's a shame there for the Renault team today. As we go back for the battle for 2nd place, Ron Zeus is doing his best to try and keep up with the top 2 and actually possibly make an attempt of an overtake. As behind him peels into pits then for the wing change, as we get a terrible camera view. And Ron Zeus isn't really gaining, so they're staying quite identical, so I'm guessing they're running the exact same wings. And Jamil has lagged out. Oh, that's a shame, and Jamil will not be allowed to rejoin the session, so that's a shame for Williams, as he was sitting in 13th, and he was one of the other medium runners to be a bold one in the race. As there's a few fights for the lead, and then there's a fight for 4th, or technically 5th place. All the way down to 11th. So we've got to keep an eye out. As Diego's getting really challenged out by Khalifi. Khalifi's thinking of possibly making an overtake, and Diego is probably feeling the pressure right now, as there's been an overtake further behind, but that's just Jamil's AI. As Diego there pulls away, so I'm guessing he uses overtake a little bit, because he's pulled away quite a lot there actually. As what about Tipson? Is he close enough this time? Not close enough to Sneaky, and Sneaky's actually in 10th, so actually how many positions has Sneaky lost? Sneaky's lost 2 positions. It's not good for Sneaky, as he usually have a good qualifying result. As Felix hits a new fastest lap, 46.045. Let's see how much he beat that lap. By a couple of hundreds. Indeed, top 4 identical basically. They're just really close. All setting 46 flats, top 4. So they're on a mission, as we're going to go on board Ron Zeus. Is he close enough? No, but what about Diego? Diego is close enough, and he's making the move on Thomas, and the Red Bulls finally lost the position to the Ferrari, and Diego then moves into 5th place, and Diego is doing an amazing job, currently 2 tenths up in Sector 1, Purple also in Sector 1, and his personal best is a 46.2, so he's could set a 46 flat as well. Tipson picks up a 3-second time penalty, and Diego will now start to focus to catch on Felix, and he's already slowly pulling away from Thomas already. People can't have already worn out their soft tyres. Yeah, I know Spa is easy on tyre wear, but you shouldn't have worn them out already on those softs. They at least need to last 8 laps if you want to make soft to medium to work. If you pit any earlier, the mediums will not take the end, as Abaddon takes... Abaddon 24.12 picks up a 3-second time penalty in the Red Bull, currently in 13th, 8.9 seconds off Atomic, who's in 12th in the McLaren. As there's fights all over the place. No move as of yet. It's an interesting gap. Is 1.7 seconds to Felix and Diego, and losing time as Monster Blue sets a 45.948, so he's picked up the pace, and Diego does do a 46 flat, so he's in the club of the 4 drivers ahead of him. Sneaky peels into the pits for a fresh set of mediums to try and go to the end. It's going to be a push at least. He's going to have to pray for a safety car. As we now go on board with Thomas, who could be under threat by Khalifi in the AlphaTauri, who's gaining and gaining now. And there's yellows. That's Raf, I believe, gone off in Sector 3. And here comes Khalifi, look, making a lunge possibly. No, stays behind, but we can see a lunge further behind. PB Racing, and Adam, you don't want to crash with your teammate, I'll tell you that. Adam and PB Racing are going side by side into turn 8. Oh, very close, bit of contact, a bit of wheel banging. This reminds me of Perez and Ocon. Behind us, that's a new fast lap 45.8 on medium tyres in the fresh grip. And look at that. PB Racing now making me on the inside. Now goes through Puon side by side. They're going, oh, a bit of contact, touching tyres. Shoves the race point off a little bit. And the race points do the switch. And I guarantee the Racing Point team will be happy they've made the move without spinning one of them out. But look at Atomic, he's getting really close, currently in 10th. Could be seeing 2 extra spots. Ooh, Sneaky, the other McLaren, picks up a 3-second, and Raf then leaves the session, so called it a day, and I kind of don't blame him. But hang on, there's yellows behind. It's Schnitzel. Schnitzel's lost it where the Williams and the Alfa Romeo lost it in real life with Russell and Giovinazzi. No damage on the car. I just think he's just lost it on traction. Terrace then in the pits. Felix moves to 3rd. And because of that, Felix may actually be able to get closer to Ron Zeus, because Ron Zeus ain't got DRS. There's a lot of people have peeled into the pits actually. As actually Teres then is possibly going to be fighting Rabador then soon. As Felix does not really close that much. Like Thomas doesn't close on the Ferrari, and it's got cloudy all over a sudden. Are we expecting rain? It was bright and sun shining, and now there is cloud. Is there rain possibly? Sneaky is really close to Khalifi, who's just gone on medium tyres. Sneaky's mediums are one lap less fresh. And Sneaky gets the moves up to 9th place, and Khalifi drops to 10th, our championship points leader. Is now only going to get 1 point at the moment if the race did finish like this. And Sneaky then will be doing the McLaren boys something proud, as Atomic is in 12th, trying to get past PB Racing. I've noticed both racing points didn't pit, they didn't double stack. And that's the issue when you go on the same strategy. Adam is all on his own and he needs to pit. Those softs are starting to wear out for him and he's losing too much time. And the Red Bulls are on a different strategy. Abaddon then is the lead medium runner ahead of Terra Racer and could cause issues for Terra Racer, as Monster Blue is in the pits. And that's another issue for the Mercedes. They're on the same strategy and Felix couldn't pit. Monster Blue in, Diego in and Thomas in. So Felix and Ron Zeus could be undercutted. And let's see where the net leader of Monster Blue doesn't get held up by the Ferrari. And let's say where he is on track. Has Terra Racer done enough? It is going to be really close. As right now then, the Red Bull and Terra Racer come around the final, turn 1. And fast lap is now by Sneaky. 45.676, and it is going to be close. What about Terra Racer? He can see the green light. He's going for it. He could easily make the move. Monster Blue just gets ahead of him. We'll be getting DRS from the Red Bull. But Terra Racer can see it now. He's got a green light to overtake, and he's going to be a lot quicker. But Monster Blue is making the move on Abaddon though. Will Terra Racer be able to follow through? As we follow, Monster Blue gets the move done on the outside and gets the move done. Terra Racer has to wait another lap and loses his chance, and could lose the chance now if he makes a move like this. There's yellows behind. That's a racing point. That is PB Racing. PB Racing has gone round. No wing damage on the car, and has got a 3-second time penalty there. I think that was because he's on the hards, and I think he's made a mistake on the strategy unless there is rain. As PB then in 13th now and has lost a lot of positions. As the rest points did look strong to score points with their new driver lineup. As behind and picks up a penalty in 16th. Not good enough for him. What about Felix? Felix even closed up. Hang on a minute. There is a retirement. We'll go on board with James. There is a safety car. Has Felix and Ron Zeus been saved? Oh, and it looks like Diego just lost it, and he's lost the rear wheel there, left rear tyre. Same place where Giovinazzi lost it, and where Russell crashed. Oh, and James got to drive through, speeding under the speeding under the safety car. He will be furious with that, and won't be happy. Where's Felix then, coming out of the pits? Monster Blue takes the lead currently, but what about Ron Zeus? Because, oh, has Ron Zeus done him? He has. Felix drops to 4th, but doesn't lose that much time. Ron Zeus has jumped Terra Racer, and Ron Zeus now could be challenging for a win in today's race. Sneaky then moves into 5th place in the end, with Khalifi now in 6th, Thomas in 7th. James has called it a day after he got that drive-through, and that is a shame. Atomic is 9th, Tipson then is in 10th, Abdon in 11th on hard tyres, and that safety car has kind of ruined his strategy. PB Racing in 12th, Finley in the pit lane in 13th. As behind well, Jamil's not actually here. Behind in 15th, served his pit stop, and Schnitzel there is also serving his pit stop in 16th and leaves garage. So we've already had 3 retirements in the race. As oh no, okay, right, that might be reported for retiring in the pits, because that shouldn't happen. And Schnitzel's lost plenty of time. That's a shame there for Schnitzel, as we'll go back to the race leader. Everybody is on mediums except 10th, 11th and 12th. And actually 15th of Jamil, but he's not here. So 10th, 11th and 12th are on hard tyres. Now, it looked really cloudy earlier, but it's brightened up again. So it went bright to cloudy and now bright again. So I don't think that actually is rain, and the race is going to be clear to the end. But as I said, anything can happen. That's them right now. If Monster Blue did finish the race, this will be his second win, but the first win for the Mercedes. And I believe it will be it won't be our different race winner, will it? No, but if he did get the win, he would have 36 points to his name. But if he had the fastest lap, 37, and would possibly move up for a championship fight later in the season. It's only round 5 out of 14, so we've still got plenty of rounds left. We haven't hit halfway through the season, which is Italy, which is round 7. As there is a McLaren into the pits then of Atomic. Is Atomic probably going on softs? No, that's going to be a push. 12 laps. Very interesting. 12 laps on softs. Interesting indeed, actually. Or is he serving... Let's have a look. He's going on a fresh set of mediums. He's actually having a wing replacement. So he must have got damage or something when the safety car was called. And now he moves into 16th and has a lot of work to do. But he's still got a lot of time to gain. He's on fresh mediums, same as everybody else, but there's a few guys on hards ahead in the points. Could slow the guys down ahead of him enough that he could make a position. His teammate is in 5th place and doing a good job for McLaren after, at one point, not even looking at scoring points. And now he could score big points of 10 points to his name, if it was the real life points. But I think 5th is... I think it's... hang on a minute. It's 6 points. So 6 points if he finishes where he is. Could be some decent points to him. Have a look. The eyes are on Monster Blue and the Mercedes team. Because at the start of the season it was Felix and Lewis Marshall who were favourite of winning the championship, and the constructors and the drivers, but the constructors is now Monster Blue and Felix going to be doing it, and the drivers could be Felix or Monster Blue, Schnitzel, Terrace, Ronzus or Khalifi, as we could have a 6 drivers fight for the championship, which would be awesome actually to see. I was actually just looking at what James just sent in Discord. He got a drive-through penalty for actually being when the delta was green. That makes sense. The safety car is coming in this lap then, so we'll be going green, green, green very soon. As he's just slowing him enough so he can keep his tyres warm, but not theirs. He can go anytime he wants. Isn't going yet. Safety car is in the pit lane. This is interesting. When is Monster Blue going to go? And I think he's going to go now, as we're about to go around the bus stop chicane. No one can overtake until they pass the start-finish line. And Finley's already got a 5-second collision with PB Racing as we go green, green, green in Spa. Back to green light racing as we go further down. Any moves getting made into turn 1? Not that I can see. At the top, moves into 15th as he passed Jamil's AI. Monster Blue has actually pulled a decent getaway, already 8/10 to gap Mr. Ronzus. And Felix is nowhere near Terrace in 3rd. As actually Khalifi could be challenging sneakers. We keep an eye on further behind. No move at the moment. Just going to have to wait. Ooh, bit of contact actually between Khalifi and Sneaky. Sneaky went a bit deep there. Sneaky then in 6th, trying his best to try and gain more time back on Khalifi as he's been overtaken, but I think the setup is hindering him a little bit because he's now losing a little bit of time to Thomas, who's actually gaining, possibly. And the gap to leader is a 5/10. Ron Zeus is gaining and gaining. Actually, I'm going to go on that, actually, if I can quickly get up the list. Ron Zeus used a little bit of his ERS. Monster Blue's almost got 100%. As we'll go on a rear shot then of the Mercedes. You can just see that the traction, the Mercedes just Monster Blue just feels quicker. Ron Zeus sets the fastest lap with a 45.132 and is still gaining. And look at how much he gained there into turn 1. He's still 5/10. He needs the gap to be at least 4 if he wants a chance to gain on the straight. As like they're saying, send it. And I would agree, just send it in, make the move. But you're a bit far back. And he isn't really gaining enough to challenge Monster Blue at the moment. Did look close, but not close enough. Monster Blue possibly did use a little bit of ZRS. However, Khalifi is actually now challenging Felix, who won at Spain. The race winner of Spain isn't really doing that well. He's currently in 4th, not sitting comfy, and he's actually losing time to the guys ahead, but he's losing time to the guys behind him as well. Ooh, massive lock up on the right front there of the AlphaTauri, and is doing all the heavy work, heavy lifting for the team today, as Schnitzel is still 14th. As there's a three-way fight for the lead. There's technically a two-way fight for 4th, and there's a massive fight for 6th, and there's just little trains. As Cleef has lost a little bit of time now, 7 to 8 tenths gap to Felix. Felix has probably picked up the pace. A bit of a lock-up. Not the best entry there in the sector 3. Khalifi's up by a tenth right now on his PB, which is a 145.4. PB could be a 145.3, maybe a 45.2 if he gets the bus stop chicane right. Fastest time is 45.1 from Ron Zeus. Will Monster Blue have anything to answer against that? DRS is enabled. Terrace has a new fast start of 45 flat. So Terrace has got some pace as well, but he isn't within DRS range. Ron Zeus is now. So, my apologies. You're not the only one I hate as well. It is annoying. But we could possibly see a move on Thomas on Sneaky. Thomas has got a real good run up a Rouge, and he's going to make the move. And he's getting closer and closer, going on the outside, on the straight. Gets the straight line speed there, already faster than the driver. And it moves into 6th place and is going to score some points for the team, as he's now ahead of Sneaky. Adam is in 8th. What about further behind? What about Verheinen? He's doing a recovery drive after he had a big crash earlier. Atomic now in a 14th. He did get past Schnitzel, and Schnitzel is struggling in 15th. As now we'll go on board with Adam in the Racing Point, the lead Racing Point driver in 8th place. There's been a retirement. That is PB Racing. He's gone off. Where's Jamil? Jamil's too far, and there's a VSC. So a VSC has been instigated. Will anyone pit for softs? Monster Blue, Ron Zeus stays out. Terror Racer stays out. What about Felix? Is anyone going to pit? As we still under virtual safety car conditions. But I think we will be going green light soon. But look how close Ron Zeus is to Monster Blue. Monster Blue is really lifting and it's going green, green, green. And Monster Blue there has lost a lot of time. Ron Zeus is 2/10. Monster Blue isn't doing what he needs as yellow flag's behind. That's Khalifi! The championship points leader is spun it. He's done the bottle, and this isn't good news for AlphaTauri. They don't want another non-points finish, or the little points as it is. They're currently 13th and 14th, and this is great news for the Mercedes team. They are first, and the Alfa Romeo team as well. They're first and fourth. Alfa Romeo are third and 10th. We'll be scoring points with both cars. However, Monster Blue has put away now from Ron Zeus 5.5 tenths right now. The gap is. As we don't have any close, actually no, we do have a close fight further behind. Atomic is 2/10 off Verheyen. We'll keep an eye on that if he gets any closer. As we can just see there, Monster Blue isn't comfortable in Sector 3. This is where the Haas is probably stronger at the moment in the setup. Teresa is still 1.1 seconds behind and isn't gaining. As he's miles off now, so Ron Zeus isn't possibly going to make a move. Hold on, we're going to bother with Atomic. He's 3/10, losing a lot of straight line speed. Khalifi's out. He's called it a day, and that is sad to say. Khalifi was scoring 0 points. Drive points leader is going to score 0 points again. Now, if Monster Blue, we may have a. Oh, actually, we do have information. His wheel apparently decided to mess up, and he had issues with it, so that is a shame there for Khalifi. As we've got the standings currently right now, live standings update, since he won't be scoring points, and Teresa is third, which would be Teresa third, that's 10 points. 10 points in the Drivers' Championship could mean a lot. Teresa could actually take the lead in the drive. Yeah, he would. 48 points. He would take the lead, so we will have a new Drivers' Championship leader. It won't be Khalifi anymore. He had 3 good races, and now he's had 2 bad races. So it's kind of even out the championship a little bit. That is a shame. Well, it was a little bit more than that. I hyped he had some wheel issues, so I think he's trying to be safe for the drivers, to be honest. Which, I respect that, but Felix, actually, where's this pace come from? He was 1.2 seconds off this driver, Teresa. Felix finally got the pace in the Merc to even challenge for a podium this weekend, and he's doing a very good job right now as he's on Teresa, really close to him, and he's getting closer and closer. I think if he makes the move... Oh, hang on a minute, there's trouble. In 13th, there's been contact between Atomic and Abaddon, and possibly Schnitzel. Schnitzel could be a saving grace for AlphaTauri. They could score some points in the end. And Atomic's retired. He's called it a day. Hopefully that doesn't cause a safety car, because if it does, it could be an issue. And Felix, actually, when did this happen? I missed the pass of the overtake of Felix and Teresa. What is going on here? Felix made the move then into 3rd place. Teresa into 4th. Thomas is now in 5th place. Adam 6th. Oh, Sneaky's DNF. Both McLarens are DNFing today. Oh, and that's actually a big hit up there. He's lost it through turn 7 or 6, and he's gone straight into the barrier. That's a weird place to DNF, and we had 19 runners. We only now have 11 runners remaining. As we're back to... Oh, there's another car off. What's going on? The guys are dropping like flies. We're down now to 10 drivers. What is going on? Verheyen as DNF now. Are we seriously going to have less than 10 drivers finishing today's race? What is going on right now? Well then, as there's no close fights at the moment set for the battle for the lead, we'll stay on board with that. If he gets any closer, of course. Or as we get a nice helicopter view. Van has left then. Once Blue isn't close enough. As no one is making a mission yet, it has quieted down the drivers now as they're staying quite close together. As Monster Blue is still 6/10 ahead of Ron Zeus, just basically pulling him along. And this isn't good for Felix. Felix is 2.4 seconds behind. And Felix now is in 3rd place and will get 10 points to his name. So, will that put him in the driver's point lead? No, it won't. Even with 10 points, he'll still be 2nd. 4th is 8 points. Terrace will be in the lead of the championship by 1 point. Wow. Like you said, that the P9 battle is quite close, so we will go on board with that actually. Schnitzel and Aberdeen then. Red Bull versus the sister team. And he isn't close, but he's going to try. He's getting closer and closer. But still no overtake at the moment between these two, and there's no fights. Terrace is still staying with Felix, 6/10 roughly. A bit of a lock up there from the Red Bull driver on the hards, and you can just see the hards aren't the best tire to be on. And this is where Schnitzel's faster because he's still in the mediums. Those mediums are still going to have more grip than the hards. But the mediums won't be good for much longer. There's 1 lap, 18 out of 22, so not many laps left. Oh, Schnitzel correcting the steering there, almost made a mistake, and could have been crucial for the Arthuri team, and could have been another DNF. Right now, we only have 10 drivers remaining out of 19, which is a maze now. We've had 9 DNFs. Zeus is blocked. So hang on, is that Abadonin in? So the battle for P9 has ended. The Red Bull driver Abadonin is in the pits, so possibly going for a fastest lap. And actually, oh, there's a fight for the behind. Finley is losing time now to Tibson. Tibson is looking aggressive now on those hards, and Finley's having a bit of a connection issue. I don't know if it was the other way around. Finley actually ahead of Tibson. But I'll keep an eye on this fight now, as it's quite close. Tipson's lost a little bit of time now, 9 tenths. We're going to go on board with the battle for third place. Teresa and Felix Negua. He hasn't done enough to keep away, but he's closed the gap to Ron Zeus. 2.2 seconds now. Terrace is getting closer and closer now. 4/10 of a second off the Mercedes. I would tell you the penalty situation, but I don't want to spoil the race. You know, I'm not. Some of the commentators do want like show what penalties and that, but if I only see a penalty on the screen, then I'll tell it. But I'm not going to go in race director and ruin it for people because I don't see the point. Because you never know, it could be a surprise winner. As Terrace now lost a bit of time now, 6/10 of a second. So we're about to start the penultimate lap of this race. And the fights, there's no fights further down the grid, they're pretty spread out. No, oh hang on, Schnitzel's in. Schnitzel's pitted, possibly for the fastest lap. Abadonen is on soft tyres. Fast lap is currently a 44.7 by Felix. So, will he lose that extra point? Abadonen now is about to cross the line. And he says a 43.505. Overtakes Schnitzel. And he will be happy with that at the moment, but Schnitzel could beat that. Felix will be disappointed he's lost the fast lap. Was won the penultimate lap of this race. As Teresa is 7/10 behind Felix now. He's losing too much time. There's another battle emerging actually further behind for 6th place. Adam and Finley. However, though, we're going to go on board with Ron Zeus. He's a bit closer than Felix and Teresa. And Monster actually may be aided by Jamil. He may get a bit of DRS into turn 1, which could save him. He's got plenty of DRS to defend. And could Monster Blue take another win? And this time for the Mercedes team, which will count in the constructors. Ron Zeus is getting closer and closer. He knows he could win this race. He just needs one send, one dive bomb possibly to make the move as we begin the final lap of this race. And Monster Blue then is already starting off with a flyer with the extra DRS zone, but now he won't get DRS zone down the track, and this is where Ron Zeus needs to get a good exit. 6/10 the gap is currently. He needs to close the gap, but this is where Monster Blue element comes in. He has plenty of overtake to use, and he's using it beautifully there. Gap now 5/10. Could Ron Zeus close the gap? It's going to be close. He's trying his best, but he isn't going to be good enough to do it this time out. He's going to have to wait on the final little straight with the corners. Ron Zeus is going to have to get really close to him to even challenge for the win today. It's been a very exciting race. It's a shame that we've only have 10 finishes. As Felix is still holding his own in 3rd place right now. Could we see any surprise penalties pop in? And could we see even a Mercedes 1-2? Even like that. Like, we haven't had a Mercedes 1-2 at all, I believe, this season. I don't believe any team in the F6 division have had a 1-2 either. That Monster Blue is trying his best to keep the car ahead of the Haas. Ron Zeus is right there waiting for one little mistake Monster Blue can make, but Monster Blue hasn't made any mistakes at all. A bit of the rear end kicking out a little bit. Ron Zeus is almost 3.5 up on his lap time right now, so he could even set the new fastest lap possibly. However, we'll go on board with Monster Blue, who's using all his ERS, all the battery power, all the fuel, everything in that car to max power. This man won a race before as Yellow's Abaddon's gone off, so he's going to lose position to Schnitzel. But the man to watch today is Monster Blue, led from pole, took pole position in quali, and he takes the win in Spa. Ronzu second. Will Felix takes third. Felix drops to fourth. Terrace and Ronzu's Felix had penalties. Terrace takes second then. Felix drops to fourth. Thomas fifth. Finley in sixth. Adam drops to seventh. Timpson moves to seventh. Adam in eighth. Schnitzel then will take ninth. 5 seconds ahead of Abaddon, who made a mistake on his fast lap. Currently the fast lap is a 1:33.5. Schnitzel's personal best is a 46.1 on mediums. Now he's on softs, low fuel as possible, max ERS, everything down to the wire now. What time will he do? Will he steal the fastest lap point and get that extra point in the championship to help AlphaTauri in the constructors? Comes to the line, and it isn't. He does a 44.212. Abaddon then takes the fastest lap point with a 43.505, and that is your race. Then with the 10 finishes with Jamil, who unfortunately DNS or DNF in 11th since he lagged out. And finally, he takes the win for the team he was promoted to, and Mercedes have done the right job to promote him to Mercedes. Indeed, it's a shame Felix couldn't get third, but Monster Blue on the top step of the podium this weekend, and Mercedes have won 2 races. They won at Spain, they've won at Spa. Could they win at the next round? As Teresa takes second and does take the lead of the championship, with Ron Zeus in third place, as Khalifi has finally been kicked off his throne and drops to second. Well then, here are your official results. Monster Blue in first, Terrace second, Ronzu third, Felix with penalties in fourth, Thomas fifth, Finley sixth, Tipson seventh, Adam in eighth, Schnitzel ninth, Adoran in 10th, and that is your drivers who finished. Jamil, who lagged out in 11th, Verheinen 12th, Sneaky, Atomic, Khalifi, PB, James, Diego, Raf, all DNF'd in today's race. Well then, we will invite the top 3 of Monster Blue, Terrace and Ronzeus. Okay, Monster Blue, FRL Teresa, and Ron Zeus. Okay, I'm just going to have to retype that because apparently that name doesn't exist. Ron Z E U S. That's what I've typed, and apparently that doesn't exist. Ron Z. Yeah, I'm guessing this is it. Alright then, the top 3 have been invited. Any questions, do leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer you them, or answer him. That's the guys who are going to be interviewed for the top 3. Well then, while we wait for the top 3 to join the party and for the podium interviews, it is confirmed that Khalifi didn't keep the Drivers' Championship lead, which is a shame for him as he had a very good start to the season with 2 wins and a 2nd place in Britain, I believe. As Ronzeus and Teresa have made it to the party. Well then, we'll start off with FRL Teresa. Congratulations on 2nd place, and also congratulations, I believe, if I am correct with my maths, you have taken the Drivers' Championship lead with a good result today, and you did very well to take 2nd. And I've got to say, how was your race in your point of view, and did you know that Felix and Ronzeus had penalties?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was a good and decent race, I think. Of course, the safety car wasn't really lucky for me, but then Ronzeus overtook me, and I was just lucky to just be ahead of Felix. And after that, just before Felix overtook me, I checked Ron's penalties and I saw he got like the 3 seconds, so I knew I had to be within his 3 seconds. And after that, Felix ahead of me, I checked him and I knew once he was behind me then. Then I checked it, so I knew I could let him go with the fresher tires and try to keep within. And then I was just saving the ERS to just go on the last straight, just fully use it to get past the 3 seconds from Ron. So that basically gave me the second place. So yeah, after all, pretty happy, especially with the championship. So yeah, it's a good race, I think.
Well, yeah, well, speaking about the championship, since you have now taken a lead, did you think, when Hungary happened, did you think you could have taken the lead a little bit sooner if Khalifa didn't have a bit of luck with the first 2 rounds? Or do you think now with Monster Blue getting a second win, a win for Mercedes, is he going to be a threat for your championship this season?
Yeah, well, I think, first of all, I just bottled so much myself this season, so I could have had much more chances for a win. But I think, yeah, now it's going to be just the three of us with Khalifa, with Monster and me. I think that's going to be the main fight. So far, Monster is really quick, so we'll see how it turns out. But still having, still confident with the lead I have now, so that's good.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, the final question I'm going to ask you, I believe it is Zandvoort next week. Let's actually have a look. Is it Zandvoort next week?
Yeah,
it is Zandvoort. So Zandvoort is next week. How do you feel there? It is a new track for everybody.
Yeah.
So how do you feel you're going to be there with pace-wise? Do you think you could get a win? Do you think you could get another podium and keep extending that championship points lead to Monster Blue, Felix and Khalifi?
To be honest, I have no idea. I haven't done one online race on it, so I have no clue.
Okay then.
Start practicing this week, and then we'll see.
Well, that'll be good. Hopefully you can surprise us with a result. Well, all I've got to say is congratulations yet again to getting second place and a podium finish, and
Thanks.
Also congratulations to taking the championship points lead.
Thank you.
Well then, we will go on board with Ron Zeus now, who finished third. Just got to make sure your mic is on share so the stream can hear you.
Yes, I'm here.
Alright, that's good then. Well then, how do you think your race went today with everything that went on, and did you think you could have possibly won the race against Monster Blue if you didn't have that penalty?
Well, first of all, like 15 minutes before the race, I got the news that I'm gonna be a full-time driver. So I had 15 minutes prior to the race, I had no idea I'm gonna race. So then I got the news that I have the Haas seat for the remainder of the season. So I just wanted to make Günther proud and not him smash my door, basically. But other than that, I don't know. Just got a bit tired, and just made some silly mistakes. Obviously, 15 minutes before, so I basically copied the time trial setup, made a few changes. Setup was a bit understeery with it. I wasn't really happy with it, so the penalties probably came because of the setup, but I was confident either way. So other than that, I'm looking forward for the season. It's fast guys here, so.
That is true, of course. There is a lot of fast guys here, and people at the start of the season said Felix and Lewis Marshall as Praga, who unfortunately vacated the seat for Monster Blue, who taken it over to be favourite to win this season's championship and that. But I've got to say, a strong result on your debut race to Haas. They were 9th in the Constructors' Championship with only 4 points, and you've already, I believe, passed Renault already with the points you've scored for the team. Do you think you could get Haas possibly late season on in a Constructors' fight with James, or do you think that's going to be too much of a task this season?
Yeah, that's probably what we're going to discuss with Günther tomorrow and see what's up. So hopefully we can get some upgrades and go from there.
Okay then, well, you've done an astonishing race, same as Terrace, outstanding race pace, and it was unfortunate that you lost the position by a penalty. But you still got a podium in the end of the day. But I'm going to ask you the final question. Zandvoort is the next round. How do you feel you're going to be there, since it is a new track for everybody in this division, and for everybody who league race and that, and how do you feel you're going to be there?
No idea, actually. Haven't driven that much, so it's a even play field because it's a new track, so it's gonna be interesting. There aren't many overtake possibilities, but think the qualifying position will be pretty crucial, but just have to don't bottle the qualifying, so then I'll be good, I think. But other than that, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's good to hear, and hopefully you can surprise us and give Haas another good result as you did today, and hopefully this time take the victory. But congratulations yet again on your podium finish, and a good result from Haas today.
Thank you, and GG's to Terror and Monster. Good race.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Well, then we go on with our race winner. Finally got a win for Mercedes. 2 wins this season, and 2 wins for Mercedes this season with Spain and Spa now. And most crucial fact, AlphaTauri not scoring points today. Well, actually only scored a few points, but how do you think your race with your teammate went well today? How do you feel?
Yeah, it was a very solid race. Good qualifying, and then the race I knew it was going to be tough to get out of people's DRSs. It's tough, just so much slipstream in DRS. That third sector I was constantly losing time down that long back straight. But yeah, it was a solid race. I didn't know he had a 3-second until like halfway through the second stint, so from then I was just trying to keep it clean, and I seemed to get a lot of gap after turn 1, which is probably the best place you can probably find time out of the whole track. But yeah, no, it was really solid in sector 2 and sector 3, so it was a tough race. It pushed me the whole way, Ronzus.
Well, yeah, we did see that actually at one point. He looking quite close. The gap went to 2/10, and I thought actually he was possibly going to make a move. But that was when the VSC happened. But with your win today, do you think now that you've been having 2 wins now this season and at this point in Spain, do you think now you could really fight for the title fight against Terraresa, Khalifi, possibly your teammate Felix, who unfortunately finished 4th today, didn't get the best result as he did in Spain? Do you think you could be a major contender for the title this season?
I hope so, but everyone's pace seems very equal. I feel like I have good qualifying pace, but when it comes to race pace, I think Terraresa, Ronzus, and Khalifi have probably got slightly better race pace than I do, so really I've got to improve on that, and then maybe I have a chance. Obviously missing the first couple races isn't ideal, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And also with the constructors' point of view as well, I think you've actually taken the lead in the constructors. You were 3 points from AlphaTauri. They've only scored a few. And you taking the win, of course, 16 points, and Felix finishing 4th with 8 points. You scored a decent amount of points, and I think you have taken the lead in constructors. Do you think, with you and Felix pairing up, do you think you could be a dominant force with AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo to the end of the season, fighting out for the constructors?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. As long as we just keep consistent performances, we don't necessarily. As a pairing, we don't necessarily have to win. We just need to keep a consistent season. Hopefully, just top 5. Obviously, today's like perfect outcome, P1 and P4. So yeah, happy with that.
That's good to hear then. Well, the final question is Zandvoort, as I've asked the other 2 drivers, and they're a bit unsure. How do you feel you're going to be around Zandvoort? Do you think you're going to have a good result, possibly another win for Mercedes, or just podium or points on the cards?
I'd like to think so. It probably is one of my favourite tracks. And also I've had a few league races there past week, and it's a tricky track, not only just for overtaking, but ERS management, and it's so many safety cars can happen as well because it's such a tight track. Safety cars come out really easily. So yeah, it'd be strategy and qualifying pace will be the hopefully be the main outcome to get a win. Hopefully.
Okay, well, that's good to hear that you're hoping for a win if the strategy goes your way and everything. But I'm going to say congratulations on winning today's race, finally getting a win for Mercedes and taking the lead, I believe, in the constructors. Not in the drivers yet, but you have closed that gap by a lot in the drivers' championship, which is good to see. So there's more fights to happen. But thank you for the podium interviews to join today. It's been good to have an interviews. And well then, we're going to now start the closing down procedure for PSGL. I've been your commentator IRL Neon, or as Jared Fosbury. This has been PSGL Season 26 F6 Round 5 at Belgium. If you want to see any more PSGL content, do join tomorrow for F1, F2, F3, F4 and F5 on Monday, and FP, which is on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. But if you do want to see more F6 content, you know what time to join us on Sunday, 8 o'clock. So hopefully you guys had a good time watching the stream, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.